What's up, guys? I'm back in my garage. It's been about 2 weeks since I last picked up my Silvia and got a chance to work on it or drive it or anything. I've been busy with work stuff, life stuff, things going on. You know, summer's here, weekends start getting booked up. So yesterday, when I went and picked it up, I was driving around all afternoon running a couple errands, and then I came back home, went to move it into the garage, and suddenly my clutch pedal started engaging at the floor. And I thought, huh, that's weird. I was just driving this thing all afternoon without any issues. I got in my garage and started checking things out. I didn't see any leaking, or I didn't see any hydraulic fluid anywhere. I didn't see anything like broken or like missing bolts like on the pedal or anything like that. Everything looked like it was fine. It was just a mystery. So I was kind of leaning towards, oh, maybe one of my master cylinder or slave cylinders are failing, like internally. I got back out to my car in the morning and the pedal pressure was fine. Everything had returned. It was like magic. Like overnight it fixed itself. Obviously I know that it's probably not fixed, and maybe some seals were failing like due to the heat. It's super hot this weekend. It's actually going to be like 95 today. I'm fully expecting to lose like 5 pounds of water weight just being in my garage today. So it's going to be interesting for sure working out here. So I decided to just get some replacements. So I got the clutch slave cylinder from Duralast, and I got an FTE master cylinder that I'm going to put in today. I'm just going to replace both right away because I don't want to have the unreliability of not knowing if I can drive this car or not. I would have loved to get like an OEM replacement, but when I looked at the factory parts, the master looked like it was back ordered and there was rebuild kits available, but I'm not going down that road this weekend. I'm just going to replace this with aftermarket AutoZone stuff and be on my way. Luckily it shares the same parts as the S14, the S14 or the US 240SX, so I was able to just source out those parts locally at AutoZone. So I'm going to get that done today. After that, depending upon how much I am melting inside of my garage, I may decide to do fuel filter, I may decide to do an oil change. I don't know where I'm going to take this today, but main thing first is get this thing back on the road and driving. So shockingly enough, this is probably the first time that I've had this thing on jack stands. I've had this car for like 2 months now, maybe longer, a little over 2 months. So I'm actually gonna pop off my wheels and take a look at the suspension because I haven't really gotten a really good chance to inspect it and see what's worn, what might need to be replaced. Because eventually I'm gonna be throwing out my coilovers, and when I do that, I wanna make sure I replace anything else suspension-wise that I can throw on right away, just so I can save myself, you know, further costs down the road for like additional alignments and things like that. So it's a process, I know, but you know, I'm gonna try to knock out as much as I can in one job rather than 5 times over. I'll probably end up still doing it 5 times over. Man, it's been like 15 minutes and I am drenched. I picked a hell of a day to do this. Okay, so my actual brakes look pretty good. Actually, there's a lot of meat on the pad, and the rotor looks fine. Doesn't look like it's really scored or anything. I don't feel any grooving, so I may be able to rock these a while longer. I do want to do a brake upgrade eventually. I mean, who doesn't, right? But it's also really expensive to do, and for now, this will work. I've got plenty of other projects to work on. So, let's see. We got some cracked rubber here. Torn boot. Yikes. 25 years. That's looking kind of worn up there. Yeah, cracked rubber. Yeah. How you doing down here, Mr. Tie Rod End? It looks okay. It's a little cracked. Let's see if I can feel any. I don't want to do this type of stuff. I don't really feel any massive play. Hard to see in that one. That looks okay. Sway bar end links. How are we looking there? Honestly, not bad. Doesn't really look really worn. Oh, ball joint though. I can see. Let me see if I can get the camera in there. It's worn. Well, maybe just dirty. Looks a little rough. Anyways, yeah, no, I'm really glad I looked at my suspension and taken a peek. I'll check out the rear as well and see if there's anything crazy over there. Plenty of bushings back there because of the differential and the cross member and everything. So there's... Anyways, leak-wise, not a drop. I am surprised that there was no hydraulic fluid leaking or anything from this clutch pedal thing. And it magically restored itself. So maybe it's just a failing cylinder. seals went bad. It just went to the floor, but there was no seepage. I don't know what to say. But I'm just going to replace them both to be safe because I don't know how old they are. I don't know if they're OEM. So I'm going to start taking apart the clutch master cylinder and go from there. All right, I'm going to start by draining this fluid out. Use my pneumatic brake bleeder to suck out the fluid. Always be careful with brake fluid. Don't want anything to be stripped, paint to be ruined. So we got a brake line at the bottom, and then it looks like just 2 bolts, either 12 or 14. Take this thing out, and then there's also the nut on the inside of the pedal. So I'm gonna take this out really quick. So I was able to get the bolts out and the flare nut, and on the inside what it is, it's attached to the clutch pedal. It's just a little pin and then a cotter pin. That's it. Is this the OEM? Oh, Napco. Yeah, I think this is OEM. Napco is the OEM replacement. So I could hang on to this, and then Nissan offers a rebuild kit, which is something I've never done before, and it's only like 37 bucks. So maybe I will. Maybe I'll pick up the kit and rebuild the factory one. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, otherwise it just, I don't know. I can't really tell if anything's wrong with it. I have to take it apart to see and like look at the internals. Project for another day. We're throwing in a new one. Because when in doubt, throw parts at your car. The replacement is like way bigger. Holy smokes. The same, but different. Hopefully this works out. All right, so it is another day. This is turning into a week-long project. It is a week later since I picked up my car. Not only because life has been busy, I've been waiting on parts. What ended up happening was I realized that I'm an idiot, and the master cylinder that I bought, that I showed, was actually for a USDM S14 240SX. That is not the same as the S15 clutch master cylinder. The clutch master cylinder for the S15 shares the same clutch master cylinder for the R33 Skyline. The USDM 240SX is not the same as this. So I bought a brand new one from Z1 Motorsports. They had one stock. It's like $100. A little more expensive, but hey, I'm glad I got OEM. Should have did this from the start, but I was really looking for something close by. I spent all day Saturday driving around looking for a replacement part and ended up finding nothing. So I ended up buying it on Z1 Motorsports. It came today finally, and I'm gonna throw it in and be done. So the other thing to note is the slave is the same. That does bolt up. So I used the Duralast one that I got, and let's button this up. Whew, full sweat again. It is, it's in the 90s today, so it's super hot again. So I got the new one installed. Here it is hooked up. I got the bleeder valve hooked up to the pneumatic bleeder, ready to go. So I'm gonna bleed it one more time while I fill it up and push on the clutch. Well, downside to the pneumatic bleeder, I'm pretty sure when I turned it on, it did some weird thing where it was like spraying. I think it's maybe because it's so full. I literally don't have anything to empty this thing into. It's under the car right now, but it's so full I don't have anything to empty it into. But I think the spray was pointed this way, and it made it onto my freaking headlight, which I just refinished. And I just tested a little spot right here, and sure enough, it looks like the fucking brake fluid is destroying the clear coat on the headlight job I did. So that's really fucking cool. After I did the bleeding with the pneumatic bleeder, it still was grabbing at the floor, so I decided to do it just manually. So yesterday I had my wife come in here and help me bleed the clutch. I did the slave first, and then I did the master second, and now it feels amazing. So that's all buttoned up. I took way longer than I wanted to get that fixed, but at least it's all done. So I'm gonna end the video here. If you like what you're watching, please like, comment, and subscribe. That helps my YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you guys in the next one.